What I tell my Jamies. Evening, morning, top of the morning to you whenever you're watching. Um, yeah. So tonight I had no cards or tricks up my sleeve. I just had some thoughts from my journal that I jotted down earlier today because I think it's something that I keep meaning to say in like so many videos, but then my train of thought leads me in another direction, and it's like I always say, it would take like a 1 million year video to say it. So that I never get worried about writer's block or anything, because I always feel like there will always be something that I forgot to say yesterday. So today, I did want to talk about the idea of what it means and what it looks like when I talk about things like becoming impenetrable to disappointment or impenetrable to fear or pain, like when you become bulletproof. I think that could be misunderstood. So I'm going to unpack what I mean when I say it. So I'll read what I wrote first, because then I'll know that I gave the complete thought, and then I'll ramble on and talk in circles until I feel like I've completed what needs to be said. Hopefully I can read. I have like childhood trauma from reading out loud, and then also when like me and my BFF, we pull cards with each other. If we like decide to like check the booklet and see if there's like something like specific in there that needs to be said, like, and we'll read the page, and like we can't read anymore, we'll go out of body, and like we'll start slowing down and trailing off, and then it's like, shake her, get her back in there, and we're like, oh, it was all too much, the transmission's coming through. We're like ethereal wisps sometimes. Okay, so that was not what I was reading out of my journal, by the way. Which, just before I start, isn't this the cutest little journal you've ever seen? Smart ass. Love it. It's so cute. I love cute things. I love having like a cute journal with a good pen. I found this white Sharpie gel writer pen that I really like. Me and Tracy went to eat dinner one night at Pelican and Pig, and the bartender had these like yellow like felt pens that were like perfect little black ink pens, but they were like this bright yellow. I was obsessed. See, I'm already rambling, but I got excited about stationery. Holla if you feel me. Okay, I'm beginning now. What becoming impenetrable to disappointment or otherwise means is we don't stuff it down and continue to endure, but we gain the courage to change, to walk away if need be. It doesn't mean that we stick by the disappointing person or job or venture because the disappointment doesn't bother us anymore. It means that we have the backbone to leave or to move on or to quit, because we know that even though disappointment hurts, it won't kill us. Even though fear is uncomfortable, we know we can face it and live to tell the tale. Because, we begin to trust life and trust others because we have grown the strength we have needed to do what needs to be done to love ourselves in the first place. When we can trust ourselves to act on what's in our highest good, we've come to a place where we are strong enough and brave enough to see the red flags and act on them, to be able to say no thank you, not for me. And so, yeah, it doesn't mean that we don't feel disappointed or afraid or anxious or insecure or nervous anymore. We still have those feelings. But we're not afraid of the feelings themselves anymore. I think a lot of times in life we stay stuck because what we're not avoiding is the actual experience. It's the feelings that are a result of the experience. And if we can get over that fear and realize that, like, I'm still here. Like, emotions, haven't taken me out completely yet. And so as long as I'm still here, the danger is fearing fear itself or disappointment itself so much that you either stay in this frozen place in time because you're too afraid to leave, because you're afraid of the feeling of the pain or the disappointment that will come from that. Or you're afraid to go forward and try something new because you're afraid that it will be disappointing, that you'll be disappointed, that it won't be what you thought, or that you won't be what you thought, or like that you that the experience won't live up to what you hoped it would, or like you'll try as hard as you can, put all your heart and soul in it, and you'll still fail. Like, it's terrifying, and that's why mediocrity is so comfortable, because you're not pushed out of this comfort zone where you could be disappointed. The thing is that once you like start expecting that disappointment is a possibility, then it's like you let go to the point where, ironically enough, you're not really that easily disappointed anymore, because you're not like, the stakes aren't very high. You're just like, yeah, whatever, like the moment will pass. Yeah, so like you're like, okay, fine. If I try this venture, I might fail. I probably will. Most successful people fail as much as they can. And so if you can actually even start embracing it, it's kind of like people who get tattoos and piercings, like, especially if they had to overcome like needles and stuff to do it, it almost gets to the point where once they know what to expect, once they know the discomfort to expect, they're just like, oh, it's not as bad as I was like, making it out to be. And then they get to the point where like it's manageable, and then they're like, okay, well, the rush of like overcoming it is like giving me something, and then it's almost like they embrace it, and before long they're like numb to the rush, and they're like having to like go base jumping to like get it again. So I think that the more we can just be able to be brave enough to say, okay, I'm going to take some hits. It's like boxing. I mean, I've never wanted to be a boxer, or like, that's not true. I've actually wanted to do like fighting sports, like, what is it? Jiu-jitsu and like Krav Maga, or I don't know how to say it, but but like the fact is that I don't really want to get like hurt, and I don't want to take a hit to the face. Like, I just don't. And so, but the people that do, they're like, okay, I'm sure they're not thrilled about it, but once they get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. So it's almost worse for the audience watching it. But yeah, so it's about building up resilience muscles. You trust yourself because you can bounce back. So it's like you trust yourself to take a chance and try something, and whatever, if it doesn't work out, then you'll move on. Like, you can wallow and feel horrible about it, and like feel the pain, and like eat the bonbons, and then move forward. But it's not so scary that it holds you back from ever trying. Like, that's really the worst, and that's the kind of disappointment that happens. Like, that's the slow, quiet, silent killer that kills you from the inside out, because you're living this like pale existence. It's the life unlived. Don't die with your song still inside of you. So yeah, resilience, it's a muscle that we build, and then we become like daredevils, and you're just like, bring it on. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you, fear. I'm not afraid of you, pain. Very Jillian Michaels. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever done Jillian Michaels works out, but she has like these really inspiring, like, she like talks to you like, yeah, you get into that, like, she tells you how to like embrace your fear, and like, you feel that fear in the pit of your stomach. Katie, you hear me out there? Me and my friend Katie from like my old job, we're still friends, but yeah, we both were like Jillian Michaels fans, and we loved it when she was like drill sergeanting us with like inspirational like toughness. But yeah, be tough, like, be that inspirational Jillian Michaels toughness on yourself. Like, get out there, like, get your hands dirty. Like, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid to feel some fear or some pain or discomfort. Because great, exciting things feel the same. Like, if you were going to go perform, like, I know, like, I used to dance and stuff and do a lot of theater, and remember before competitions, I would just feel sick. And this is, like, what I worked, like, all year for, and I was, like, so excited and pumped about it. And, like, once you get there, you're just like, ugh. Like, right before I turn on these videos, like, I love doing them. But right before, I'm like, ugh, I don't feel like it. I just, the moment's passed. And I'm like, no, get in there. Like, get in there, bitch. Get to work. I'm abusive to myself. No, you should be nice to yourself, but also like, get out there and get in it. I think that that's it for tonight. Now I'm just starting to like talk. It's not safe. I'll say something that's, just too much. Yep, I think that was it. Double check. Oh, okay. So also, I think that there was something I was going to talk about. Trusting yourself and trusting others. A lot of times, people who have trust issues, the trust issues are coming from things that have happened that someone has done to them, obviously. But it's also usually those same people that will continue to like stay in situations with people who showed them red flags and they didn't choose to see it, or they were like oblivious to it, but like they could have not been so oblivious, like they were kind of choosing to put their head in the sand. So I think that you learn to be more trusting of others when you learn to trust yourself, and to do that you have to be able to like act on, I have this like one dangling hair, act on the intuition when you're getting it. Pay attention to the red flags. Keep the boundaries that you've set for yourself. And that's even sometimes in good ways. Like the other night I was out with my friends and I'd set this boundary to make these videos every night and every day too. And I could batch them, but like I'm going to have to like clear out a lot of space on my phone to do that. Haven't done it yet. And so I needed to make the video. And I kind of wanted to continue on through the night, but like I knew it was just going to end up, it could only end in like a hangover. At that point I was perfect. I was like, I had a couple of glasses of wine. It was just a little buzz, but it's enough for me to be like, yeah, woo, yeah, but no big deal. Like, that's all I needed to like really feel alive. Just a little warm on a cold night. That's all. And yeah, it was good because I set the boundary and I kept it with myself, and that was in a positive way. And now I trust myself to go out and have 1 or 2 drinks and not end up getting shit-faced. So see, build trust with yourself and you can trust life more. You can trust other people more because if they're not trustworthy, it's like, it's not telling you like, if you trust yourself then other people are trustworthy. It's that when you can sense that someone's got bad vibes, you act on that and you distance yourself and you don't get involved and you don't like get them in your business. You know what I mean? Like you have to like act on that by being like, oh, hello, I'll wave to you out in public, but like you're not going to be in my inner circle. Follow your intuition. All right. I think I'm really going to end this now before it just gets too out of hand. And we're only at 13 minutes. I feel like that's always good when I don't know, like go on and on for 20 minutes. But actually I go back and watch them just out of curiosity. I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? Because usually it's like channeling through and I don't even remember. And I'm like, okay, it was fluid. It was coherent through the whole thing. I was lucid. Oh, so yeah, I'm ending this now. All right, good night. Ta-ta.